So many times we walk around in defeat. And our pastor says different than the 7 Hebrew words for it to say. I'm not here to beat you up. I'm here to tell you God expects something. I heard the sermon years ago. The sermon went like this. Tony Evans, love it. He said he's sitting in his office, and as he's sitting in his office, his 11-year-old son comes in, and he writing a message, and his son says, Dad, come watch me dunk. Dad, come watch me dunk. He said, I ain't got time right now. Go on, boy. He said, after an hour of him pestering him to come watch him dunk the basketball, he said he finally gets up and says, okay, the only way I'm going to get this done here is I'm going to have to go watch this for just a few minutes and I can come back. So he says he gets up, he goes to the gymnasium, and as he walks to the door, he said his 11-year-old son takes the basketball and he dribbles it. He said he does great. He said he dribbles it, he tucks it between his legs, he dribbles it some more, tucks it between his legs, he runs, goal. He said magnificent. He said he started praising his son like, good job, awesome, good job, buddy. Then he looked over at the janitor and he says, hey, raise the goal back up to 11 foot. See, before he came and got his dad, he got the janitor to lower it from standard height to 8 foot and reached it. He said so many times, and what really struck me hard was that what we do with God's standard is that we go and we lower it to man's standard, and then we reach that standard and think we've done something. And the whole time God's saying, no, I'm picking the standard back up here. Reach that standard right there, because that standard is my standard. So many times we come in defeated. The enemy has beaten us, battered us, whipped us enough. And what God is trying to tell you in the 7 Hebrew words is that if you can get a hold to what praise really can do for you, what praise really does, if you can get a hold to that right there, the enemy cannot stand in your presence. Because the battle's not even yours, the battle is his. And when you begin to praise and you begin to bring your family into that praise, when you begin to lift up holy hands as what God has ordained us to do, has called us to be, priests, right? When we begin to do that, next thing you know, God's presence begins to fall, because he can't ignore his people when they cry out to him. If he could, he'd be a liar, because his word says he can't. And our God's not a liar. He's not a man that shall lie. Amen? Say, keep going, preacher. You're getting on my toes too hard. Let's get this over with. Second thing I want to point out is your praise is effective. Your praise is effective. It says, don't be afraid. Do not be dismayed at this multitude, for the battle is not yours, but God. Everyone say, tomorrow. Go down against them. Behold, they will come up by the accent of Ziz. You will find them at the end of the valley, east of the wilderness of Jeruel. You will not need to fight in this battle. Let me say that again so that we all kind of grasp what is actually being said here. He said, tomorrow, go down against them. Behold, they will come up by the accent of Ziz. You will find them at the end of the valley, east of the wilderness of Jeruel. You will not need to fight this battle. Amen. You will not need to fight this battle. Stand firm. Everyone say, stand firm. Hold your position. and see the salvation of the Lord on your behalf, O Judah and Jerusalem. Do not be afraid and do not be dismayed. Tomorrow go out against them, and the Lord will be with you. God is saying, stand firm. Hold your position. This position is not what he's talking about. Stand firm. Hold this position. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He is my stronghold. He is my everything. He is my provider. He's the one that's going to win the battle. And I get to praise and joy, not because I got to fight, but because the victory's already been won. And whether you know it or not, devil, your place is in hell, and you have no place in the presence of God's children. Amen? Amen. It's time we get our shout back. It's time we start telling the devil and start talking to him. He don't mind talking to you. He don't. He don't mind talking to you. Are you really worthy? Did God say that you were really that? He don't mind talking to you. You ain't going to pass that test. You ain't never going to make it. He don't mind talking to you. It's just time for us to start using the very thing that God give us, and that's our tongue and our mouth, and start using it to our advantage and say, you know what? Maybe, but I know that I got a God that can do exceedingly abundantly above all the things that I imagine or think, and within the powers within me. I know that he's that. I know that he's a God that always stands with me, never leaves me, nor forsakes me. Your praise is effective. Your praise is also a weapon. Did you ever think of why Judah was sent out first in the battle? We're talking about the very lineage of where Christ is going to come from. So if they're going to be sent out first in battle, why? So they can be the first one destroyed, and then the salvation of the Lord don't ever come because the lineage of Judah will be destroyed. And think about it. If Judah was instructed to lead the battle, to be out front, that don't make no sense. They're after to kill him. You ever thought about that? And if that's the case, I want to be Benjamin or Levi or whoever in the very back. That once the battle's done, by the time I get up there, the fight's over, right? Think about it. So what was the purpose of Judah to lead out front? Because it was never their battle to start with. They never really had to fight. See, they were praising not because they're going into battle, but because the battle's already been won. They may not have seen it happen yet. They may not have seen the win and the victory just yet, but they had some praise because Judah actually means praise. And they had praise on the inside that was bubbling, that just had it inside of here, that says, my God can do exceedingly everything. Why? Because they standing on promise. Judah led the battle. Praise led the battle. We praise because we already know God's going to win. How many of us have ever read this book and all the way to the end? Where did it say we lost?